If you don't drop it, I swear.
All right.
Konvansky, you are under arrest.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for an all new Days of Our Lives recap for September 23, 2024. So, happy days are here again. Connie is finally arrested. I was just waiting all these weeks for this, right? So, Jada saw her coming out of the pub, of course, Connie asked, how did she track her? And she's like, I heard from another victim that, you have another victim's phone. So she did pat her down and take Gabby's phone out of there, right? So she's like, you're arrested for a scene of horrifying crimes, Everett's murder, Rafe's attempted murder, Lee Shin's murder, and all of that, right? So then she picked up the evidence, the knife, the bloody knife, and she's like, whose blood is this? So at this point, Stefan and Ava come out of the pub, right? So Stefan told Jada that it was his blood, and he said that this homicidal maniac was trying to kill him, and then Jada asked, I need witness statements from you both, and Ava's like, can you do it at the hospital? I'm going to take Stefan over to, get him some medical attention. So she's like, okay, cool. So earlier, before they came out of the pub, they were having a conversation about, what happened earlier with Stefan trying to convince Ava to be intimate with him just to have a one-up on Gabby. And, he apologized for being misogynistic and all of that, right? So she's like, okay, cool. And she's like, she just doesn't see how she can move past that, because they are friends and all of that. But he did, convince her to, forgive him and all that, and they try to move forward, right? So they're now gonna go to the hospital so that Stefan can get his cut looked at, right? So EJ and Gabby, right, they were just, having a conversation about, how Gabby is thankful that EJ was in the nick of time, and she owes him her life, and she's just, it made her think about a lot of things, like, for instance, her daughter, and, thinking that it would be the last time she see her daughter, smiling and all of that, right? She was thinking about how she would never see her again, and, just a lot of things come full circle. And he's like, I am glad that, things didn't go left, and I was there in time. And he was telling her how he even ended up there because he saw the bloody poker, and he just decided to investigate. So she's just thankful to him, grateful that, he came there in time, right? She still can't believe that she, was that naive to trust Connie and all of that, right? Thought that she had a wonderful assistant in her. So he's like, can I do anything else for you? Can I call Will and Sonny to let them know what's going on? So she's like, no, she will do that when she's a little bit stronger, but she's grateful for him to be there, right? So at some point, he did end up leaving. She did ask him to stay a little longer, but at some point, she said it was okay for him to leave. So he went out to kind of brief people on what happened, right? So we see Melinda and Paulina, right? Paulina, comes in to quote unquote check on her. I just feel like because of the whole job situation, and she's just looking for Melinda to replace EJ as the DA, right? So that's why she's truly there, because I don't think she and Melinda don't go like that. So I just know that was the ulterior motive behind her checking in on Melinda, right? So anyway, she checks on her, how she doing and what happened, and she saw the crime scene, and that she didn't know that she was held up there for so long, and how terrified she must have been and all that. So she's like, yeah, it was pretty much a terrifying experience, but why are you here? Which is my question too. So she's like, I'm here to check in on you, but I'm also here because I just feel bad for letting you go the first time and let EJ be the DA. But I was strong-armed by him because he had leverage over me. I really didn't want to let you go. And then she also said that, but I was trying to make it up for, hiring you to be head of sanitation. So Melinda just gave her the most biggest side eye you can imagine. I'm like, I would be that way too, because who you gonna offer that? So anyways, Melinda, and I'm happy for Melinda, because I was saying say no to her, because who is she to come back and really want to offer you that job again after you humiliate her the first time? I wouldn't. So she said, that sounds good, but I love it over here at Demira, and even though it's for Kristen, the paycheck, the money is real good. So I don't blame her. Go ahead, Melinda. So anyways, so we see EJ is on the phone talking to somebody about what happened. Stefan and Ava come in. So, he come off the phone. He's like, what happened to you? So he's like, some homicidal maniac, tried to attack me and all of that, right? So he's like, was that maniac Connie Vininsky? So he's like, yeah, how do you know? So he's like, she tried to, she bombed down the Demira tunnels, and Melinda, Trask, and Gabby were hurt in the process, right? So he's like, how is Gabby? So he's like, she'll be fine. She just have, some concussion and all of that, right? So he's like, what room is she in? So he told him, and then he just rushed to it. So EJ's like, oh, seems like he still have something for his wife. So he looked at Ava and he's like, So anyways, Ava did tell EJ that, Connie also tried to attack them in her room. So he's like, oh, look at that again. You and Stefan in a room again. Y'all can't get enough of each other, right? Inseparable. So she's like, it's nothing like that. So EJ just gave her the side eye, like, oh, really? No. So anyways, she did tell EJ that Connie was arrested and all that. So he spoke about Melinda Trask. She's like, oh my gosh, where is she? He's like, I didn't know you guys were like buddy. So she is like, it's not like that. I just really owe an apology. So she went ahead to go chat with Melinda. So I want to hold you on what happened with Chanel and Johnny. They were just really catching up about starting on the soap opera tomorrow, and how they feeling and all that, right? So it wasn't really much, they were just having dinner, a little couple time and all that. So at some point, the conversation turned to Stefan and Gabby and their drama, and he filled her in on the fact that Gabby, tried to one-up Stefan by sleeping with his father. And she's like, she can understand why Gabby is being vindictive and all that, but what's in it for, his dad, EJ. And he's like, he's been a mess since the divorce from Nicole. He got the papers. So, it's a lot going on. So, at some point they danced, they had champagne, yada, 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 and they went home. They saw the tape, and, Johnny spoke with the firefighter, and, they tell him what happened, but he didn't know who was hurt. So EJ called him and filled him in, and he's like, are you okay? And he's like, I will be fine. He told him about Gabby and Melinda and all that, right? So they're just hoping that, things can be sorted out, because he did tell his dad that they met Connie at one point and they thought something was off with her, but it just didn't think that she would be this crazy and homicidal. So let's get back to Jada and Connie, right? So Jada brings in Connie for questioning and all of that, right? The cut-up board thing of Lee is there, and here Connie's like, Lee, they brought you in too and all of that. Like, what do you have him in here for? And she's like, we can't charge a cut-up board. So I thought that was really funny. But anyway, she's like, listen, we have it dead to right. You just need to give it up. Like, we have an airtight case against you. And she's like, I know my rights. I'm not speaking without a lawyer and all that. So she's like, yeah. Jada's like, yeah, we have Miranda rights and all that. And she's like, listen, I watch enough episodes of Law and Order SVU to know what is up. And I'm not speaking without a lawyer. And, whatever I say can't be used in the court of law. You guys did that with Brady, so why are you trying to do different with me? So, Jada was stepped back in her tracks. So she's like, listen, you did so much damage, and I'm just trying to see you go away for life, And she talked about the whole Everett thing, and she's like, listen, Bobby wanted Rafe away from you, and I was just doing his bidding. What did he think I was gonna do? Just wave a magic wand and Rafe was gonna disappear? I had to do what I had to do, so it's not really my fault. So she's like, listen, she don't want to hear none of that, but you're gonna pay for what you do, right? So Ava went into, checking on Melinda, and she just apologizes for not really, really checking in a lot more. She was dealing with, being fired from the mayor and not really thinking, okay, something could be wrong with, your disappearance. Like, she just believed that it was just a leave of absence and all that. She should have really dig deeper after she went to terminate Connie, right? So she was like, no, don't blame yourself. Maybe next time when I'm attacked by a homicidal maniac and you see me calling, just answer. She's like, okay. But if it makes any difference, like, she tried to slit my throat today, and she's like, oh, come on, I was held hostage for longer. You can't compare. So they were just having a little funny moment about that, right? So Paulina comes over to the police station, and she, she's asking where's Connie. So, Jada tells her that she's in the interrogation room. And she's like, good going, Commissioner. She's just going to go away for life, and all that. So she's like, I don't think so. So she's like, isn't she guilty? So she's like, obviously, yes. But, the way how she's behaving, it may be that she's not going to be at Statesville, but actually Bayview. So we go to Connie, and Connie's in there having her delusions with Lee, coming in, and she's like, what they have you in here for? And he's like, probably, so, whatever crime he was saying, I don't remember, witness tampering or something like that. So she's like, we got each other and all that, and you're the love of my life. They just was having a deluded moment. So yeah, that was that with them, right? So we go to Stefan and Gabby, right? So Stefan is overjoyed that she's okay. They hug it out, and clearly you can tell that they're still not over each other. The viewers already know, so they need to just cut the BS, right? So anyways, he's like, I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you and all that, and she's like, it's okay. So she fills him in on what happened with Connie and how she ended up in the hospital, and she also told him that she was the one who killed Lee, Everett, and also Rave stabbing and all that, right? So he's like, you guys are not the only one that has been hurt, so he told her, he got stabbed from Connie, and she's like, where did this happen? So he's like, in the pub, and Ava was there as well. So he did uncomfortably tell her that it was in Ava's room. So she's like, so he's like, it's nothing like that, I went over there, to just to rectify something that happened at the bistro because I was offering a job. She's like, why would you offer the woman you cheated on me with a job? So he's like, she needed a job, and clearly, you fired you let her be fired from Demira. So, I had to give her a job, and she's not liking it one bit, but he's like, listen, like, I did try to proposition her and all that. So she's like, why would you do that? So he's like, EJ came over, and, I wanted to know if you and him slept together another time and all of that. And he's like, she's like, I did not sleep with him. I only slept with him once, you idiot. So he's like, how would I know that? So she's like, you should know when I'm not, when I'm lying and all of that, right? So, she just can't look at him, and she's like, you need to just leave, right? I don't need to see you, right? I don't really want to work on this marriage again. So he's like, really? It's like that? So, she tells him to leave, and he just like, okay, fine, whatever, and I'm saying, it's not like you both did each other wrong. Like, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. But anyways, that was it, guys, for today's episode. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys tomorrow for an all new recap. Let me know what you think of this whole situation with Connie. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.